Good morning or afternoon, depending on whether you're just waking up or not. Today we are going to go over edge banding. And what is edge banding? It is taking a piece of veneered wood and making it look like a piece of solid wood. What is the difference? Okay, veneered wood is plywood with a veneer on it, so it will look like a solid piece. So what you do have is you have one edge that's showing you the ply. Here's a solid piece. Now, this is critical. You have end grain. Again, those are the openings of the straws. Here's your edge, and here's your surface. So a lot of times when you're looking at a piece of wood, is it a solid piece? All right? If it doesn't have end grain, most likely what it is it's a veneered board. All right? So you're going to have edge, edge, edge. You won't have end grain, and end grain is the straws, okay? So when we go over and we do a cabinet, all right, this would be a lot of solid wood. The weight would be heavier, the cost would be higher, so what we do is we do this with a veneer. And then what we do is either face frame it, all right, or edge band it. So here we have the shell. This is what we call the mini-me. This is one of the projects that you're doing. And what I can do is I can face frame it with solid wood, or what I can do is come along and edge band it, depending on what you want the look to be. The top of it is usually solid wood, although I could edge band it all the way around and put a top on, all right? But what it won't have is it won't have end grain. You also can't route. You can't make the wood decorative if you're doing plywood. Remember, no routing on plywood or particle board. So what we have here is this is a veneer, very thin piece of oak with glue on it, and it's heat activated. You can also get it, all right, so it's just plain veneer. So you do your own gluing on it. This is much easier. There's machines that put it on, or a really nice method is just an iron. So that's what we use here. So what we are going to do is take a board, all right, and what we're going to do is make it look like this. So this edge has already been edge banded. We're now going to do this one. So we're going to try to make it look like a solid piece of wood. Here you notice over here, there's edge grain, all right? There's no end grain. So you can tell that this board is veneered. It is not solid. Here's a solid piece, all right? This is a plywood piece. So what we've done is we've already turned on the iron. All right, you don't need to touch it. You can feel the heat on it. We want to have this on up by cotton, okay? That's right above wood. No, that's wool, okay? So just remember, it kind of looks like wood. Just go a little bit above it to cotton. We're going to come over and we're going to put our piece in the vise, just so it's holding it. If you're worried about it getting dented, always put a couple pieces of wood on it. So now what I have is I have my piece that I've already cut off. And what I want to do is I want to come as close as I can to an edge. Right? But you also don't want to go too short. So what I am going to do is I have a little bit on the end and a little bit on the end. I'll line this up. All right, so it's hanging over a little bit. And what I'm going to do is push down. I am now activating the glue and come right off. All right, it's going to be warm. Now what I can do is go away from that and keep it in a straight line. Don't start it and go in one direction really quickly. Get one end glued. So now what I'm going to do is, so you can see it, I'm going to line this up. I'm going to go down with my iron, and I'm slowly going to go across it. Now, did I go too fast? If you went too fast, this would just pop off. Oh, so how do you know? You want to go at a slow rate, but you don't want to go too slow because you'll burn it. So what I want to do is I am going to go down on it and just at a nice, slow, steady pace, keep moving it. If I sit in one place, what will happen is it will burn. I go all the way through. All right, now that's down and secure. That, if I go touch that and leave my hand on it, I'm going to burn it. Now the nice thing is if I didn't go long enough, which I did before, I can just go over it. All right, now normally we don't do this, but I'm going to show you. All right, if I leave this down on this too long and then start to go, what I will do is I will start to burn, and you can see it right in here. They're little tiny dark marks, especially on the edges of it. So what I want to do is you come down here, it's nice and clean. Down here you can see I burnt it a little bit. So now I have my board edge band. Now how do you clean this up? You can clean this up with a utility knife, right? Or better yet, right in here, and what I'm going to do is you're going to see two little grooves in here. What I want is the veneer to go in that, and then inside here are razor blades. So all it's going to cut. So I'm coming right down in here, and those are going to cut it. So all I do is put it on it and pinch it. So I'm going to come right down here, and I'm going to pinch that on it. And what I'm going to do is slide right down. And there is cutting off my little excess. And now I'm nice and clean. You're always going to have to sand that up. But now what I have is a nice clean edge. It's going to look like a solid piece of wood. Then what I would do is plant this down on another board. And then what I can do is just cut this off. So I need to get a piece of scrap wood. Put that down on it and just come across. And I don't have to go all the way through. All I'm going to do is just bend it over so I get a nice clean corner. Now I'll come back and just gently sand that up. So now what I have is I have edge, edge, edge. Oh my goodness. There's no end grain. Must be a veneered board, must be a solid board. So depending on what you're doing, I wish you could feel the difference of the weight. This one weighs about 1/3 more than this. Now if I put that into my piece over here and added 1/3 the weight, when you're doing cabinets, they get very, very heavy. So I don't have to glue boards together. I can have a really nice wide, 4-foot wide piece of veneer and then just edge band it. So you will have to cut a piece and edge band 1-2 sides. All right, you don't have to do the whole board. That's your project. Get it done. All right, bring it back down when you're done. Please do not put this down on the table. All right, it will burn it. So we're going to leave it up here and also unplug it. Keep it facing in. We wait till it's cooled before we put it away.